Hello students, here we have the Module 3 review sheet practice test for 2019. So this is the answer key. I'm just going to go through every problem and go over all the solutions. Even though some of the problems, it might be a different way to solve them, but I'm going to give you the way that we did the best in class. So starting with number 1, what was the cost of each sweater? Okay, this is an algebraic equation. All right, so we're going to let S equal sweaters. And remember, all the equations typically follow this format. Okay. In this case, it's an S, not an X. So the total, start with the total, $187. Okay. 6 sweaters, each sweater, so that means the 6 goes with the S. 1 skirt that costs $25, the 25 goes there, not the 1. All right, and then we solve the equation. So I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides. I end up with 6x equals 162 divide 6, x equals 27. Right. Number 2, a very similar problem. The only difference with this one is instead of actually the answer, they want to know an equation. All right, and if you look at the equations here immediately, it doesn't follow this format because you have to be able to recognize different versions of it. So let's start here. Total charge is 320. Okay. We want which equation per hour. So we're going to let H equal hours. A 5-hour job, X dollars per hour for a 5-hour job. So that will be 5X plus 70. Okay. Now it doesn't match any of the equations. So now we have to think about what do we do to solve this. So if first thing I would do is I'd have to subtract 70 from both sides. And up with 5X equals 250, and then you divide by 5. So basically this is what you're looking at. You're subtracting 70 first, then dividing by 5. The answer to this is A. Alright, 3. Moving down. This video is going to be a lot longer than what normal lesson videos are. So sum means we just combine, so I'm just going to line this up, put 10A underneath. Negative 5b underneath. Watch your signs. Negative 7 plus 10, 3a. Negative 4 minus 5. I borrow 4, I buy 5 more. Becomes negative 9b, so I'm looking for 3a minus 9b, which is C. Okay. Number 4, you subtract 78.2. Okay. You get 0.5x equals something. Divide by 0.5. Okay, I'm kind of shorthanding this one. And I'm going to try to breeze through the ones that I think aren't going to be issues and spend more time on the ones that are going to be a little bit longer. Alright, moving on to the next page. Number 5. Focus is back. Alright. Simplify, distribute, then combine. So we're going to distribute the negative 3. So we get negative 12x. Watch what happens here. Negative 3, negative 2, positive 6, minus 2x. I know we're having issues with the focus, so just be patient. Also, I feel like I'm an awful long ways away. There, that's a little better. Alright, and then I'm going to line the 2x underneath. So negative 14x plus 6, which is choice D. Okay. Number 6, what is the radius? The circle is the circumference. We just did this recently. Circumference equals 24 pi. The 24 is the diameter, which means the radius is 12. Okay, remember, here's why. Pi d. Remember, c is equal to pi d. If they both have pi's, then that implies that the diameter is 24. All right, number 7. Which expression makes this true for all values? So basically what we're going to do is put 4's out in all these until you figure out which one gives you what you started with. We've also done this a couple different times. Distribute here. This is 16x minus 16. Choice A. Remember, when you distribute, it's multiplication. Least number of deliveries. He wants to earn more than $55 a day. So that's a greater than $155. All right. Deliveries. So we'll have D is equal to deliveries. Okay. So 6 goes with the deliveries. So it's 6D. It's a D, sorry. And then here we end up with an 8-hour workday for a 9-hour day. So that's $72. So you take 9 times 8. So we get 6D is greater than, so I'm just subtract, notice I'm skipping that step. So I get 83, divide by 6, and I get 13.8. It would have to be 14 deliveries. You can't make 13.8 deliveries. Moving right along. Okay, number 9. Distribute, combine. Distribute, combine. So what gets distributed here is this -3. Okay, so we get 7 over 2h minus 15h plus, the calculator is going to give you 1.5 when you do that. Okay, which is 3 over 2 when you think about it. So immediately, if you get this right, then that gets rid of that choice and that choice. Okay, now 7 over 2, if we want to convert that, will be 3 and 1/2 minus 15. Okay, we have a 3 and 1/2 minus 15 would be negative 11 and 1/2 h. Okay. And then this leads us to choice A. Which inequality can Josh use to determine x? Minimum number of visits. So x is the number of visits. 3.5 for each visit, so we would write 3.5x at least 55, okay, and then the 15 points. Right? But then if you notice, each one of these is backwards. So we can flip-flop this, but here's the thing with inequalities. If you flip-flop, you have to flip-flop the inequality. Okay, so this greater than or equal to would become less than or equal to. Right? And this would be choice C. Length of the border. It doesn't use circumference or area, but we have to imply that this is circumference, pi times diameter. They give us the radius of 5, r equals 5. That means the diameter equals 10. So we plug the 10 in, we get 10 pi, and we put that in the calculator, and we would get about 31.4. Okay, some of these problems I am going through a lot quicker, but that's just because I want to make sure I got time to go over the harder ones. All right. Which expression is the perimeter of the rectangle? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a picture. Length is 3.5x minus 2.1y. And the width is 1.5x plus 2.7y. All right, perimeter, all four sides. So I need to do a 1.5x plus a 2.7y. And then here I got a 3.5x minus 2.1y. All right, so if I were to line these all up, I got 2 of these. So I'm just going to rewrite this all over here. 3.5x minus 2.1y. Another 3.5x minus 2.1y. I'm just rewriting these. Or, this is how we talked about doing this, just lining these up vertically. Plus 2.7y, 1.5x plus 2.7y. So then we combine all of the x's. And I get 10x. I don't even have to do any more work. Okay, moving on to the open response, the problems that need to show your work. What is the area if I give you the circumference? So we had a multiple choice question similar to this. Okay. The circumference equal to 9 pi implies that the diameter is 9, which means the radius is 4.5. Area formula, always write the formula down, pi r squared. The radius is 4.5. Plug that in, pi times 4.5 squared. This says in terms of pi. So we just square the 4.5. And we get 20.25 pi. And that's all they want. You do not have to put it in the calculator. All right. Here, a few more. 14. Write and solve an inequality. At most, Kyle can spend $50. At most means less than or equal to total. X is the number of sandwiches, 450 each, so it's 450x. Okay, he bought chips for $6. Okay, so we subtract 6 from both sides, we get 4.5. X is less than or equal to 44. Divided by 4.5. Oops. Having some issues with the calculator. I get X is less than or equal to 9.7, but it's got to be less than that. It's not a rounding issue, so he can buy 9 sandwiches, and that's it. Hold on, become unfocused. There it is. All right, moving on. Number 15. Actual circumference. Formula written down automatically. Rupert has a replica of a car he wants to buy. Diameter is 3 inches. But we have to use a scale. If they give you a scale factor, we have to use it. 1 inch equals 24 centimeters, so 1 inch equals 24. The 3 would go on top, X would go on the bottom. So my converted diameter would be 3/24, which would be 72. 72 goes in place of D, so we get 72 pi. This one says, well, it doesn't say, so we'll give both answers. So we'll do 72 pi, and then we'll put it in a calculator and get 226.2. I'll just give you both answers. All right, just a couple more here. 16, Thomas wants to build a fence. How far back can he build a fence in his back lawn if he uses all 350 feet? All right, so there's a house here. Okay, so first things first. If you have the house there, you don't need to put a fence there. So you need to put a fence from here to there to there. Okay? If this is X, this is X. So the total is 350. And this is what the equation would look like, even though some of you could probably solve this without an equation. You got an X here and you got an X there, 2X's plus 70. So subtract 70, you get 2X equals 280. Divided by 2, you get X equals 140. 140 feet back. Right. 17. What is the difference in their circumferences? We did one like this in class the other day. Okay. Circumference equals pi times diameter. Here's what's nice. Actually, this is easier because I gave you the diameters of both. So we got Mercury, we got Earth. Plugging the diameter in here, 3032 pi is Mercury's. Earth is 7918 pi. Right. And if you remember the trick that I showed you in class, it was how, because they both have pi's, I'm going to save pi to the end. Now, some of you may not do that, which is fine. But I'm going to go ahead and subtract these because technically they are like terms. Right, so I'm going to get the pi versions. 7918 minus 3032. And I get 4886 pi. Now I'll multiply that times pi to get my rounded answer. And that would be about 15,349.8. Okay. Okay, and there was 2. How many yards of fabric does Jennifer use per curtain? All right. So, she makes fabric per curtain. So we're looking for curtain. C equal curtain. She makes 6 curtains, 6C. She has a total of 84.5 yards of fabric. 19.7 yards remaining. That's the additional amount. So there's what my equation looks like. Notice they all look the same. All right, subtract 9.7 from both sides. or 19.7, I should say. So we get 64.8. Let's see. That by 6. We get 10.8. Okay. But she doesn't make a 0.8 curtain, so actually, technically, this is a at least, even though it doesn't say you had to write an inequality. So she can make 10 curtains. And then there was one, the last problem. Greatest number of outfits that she can buy with the remaining money. All right, $500. This is an at most problem. Okay. So, cycling outfits. Cycling outfits are 78, 12 each. 78, 12, X. We'll let X equal cycling outfits. Right. Now the additional amount, well, that's where we got to do a little bit of work. Right. So we've got 273.98 for the bike reflector, or for the bike. Okay. 3 bike reflectors for 320, so we're going to add 3 times 723, because she buys 3 of those, plus the bike helmet for 42. So I had to add the prices of the bike, the 3 reflectors, and the bike helmet. And we get 338.03. 338.03, and that becomes your additional amount. All right, so then now we just subtract, so we take 500. We're going to take 338.03. All right, so we get 78.12 less than or equal to 161.97. Divide by 78.12. And we get X has to be less than or equal to 2.07, so she can buy 2. All right, so feel free to watch this as many times as you need to be prepared for the test that's coming up. And this is Mr. Sims signing off.